Why is whiskey expensive or not expensive? My name is Daniel Whittington. I'm Chancellor of Wizard Academy and Whiskey Marketing School. And we're going to talk about price and whiskey. We'll talk about all the variations, including things like taxes and stuff like that too, because that's a real thing. And we're going to drink some weirdly branded limited edition Whistle Pig wheat whiskey. Okay, there's a lot of factors that go into whiskey pricing. So what's the difference between a whiskey that's $300 and a whiskey that's $20? The simplest answer for this whole video is price in whiskey is equal to rarity, not equal to quality. That's the simple version, right? Now, rarity can be determined by the people making it or by the consumer. Fair? And that's where you're going to see the variances. So, first things first, time in a barrel. It takes time to age whiskey. It takes time to sit on whiskey. You make it, the production time is real, it sits in a warehouse years. Every year that goes by, it costs you more to store that whiskey. You're paying storage fees, you're losing whiskey to angel share. Every single year, that whiskey gets less and gets more rare, and hence potentially more valuable, especially to the maker and especially if it's craft. Cheap whiskey tends to be younger, but that is not a rule. I mean, some of the most budget bourbons on like your big brands like Jim Beam and things like this, you can get a $20, $30 bottle of bourbon that's going to have 6, 8-year-old whiskey in it. You can also get an $80 bottle of craft whiskey that's a year and a half. What's the difference? Rarity. Guess how many barrels that Jim Beam is playing with? They can afford to make lower price point whiskey. Guess how many barrels your craft guy down the street with a 50-gallon pot still is making? Rarity, right? Your type and quality of barrels. Are you going to use budget small gallon barrels like 5, 15 gallons that are kind of cheap and they're kiln dried instead of yard aged, they don't cost as much? Are you going to get Wave Stave Char 3 Toast Profile ISC number 18 and you're going to spend $400 per barrel for a new oak barrel? Are you going to spend $800 on a full-size sherry butt that's going to be imported from Spain? Guess what? All of those things ramp up the price of the whiskey, right? Because it's rarer, more expensive, more cost of goods. Your size of production, 50 gallons still, 2,000 gallons still. Have a barrel house that has 20,000, 100,000 barrels on it. Over here, I have a barrel house with 20 barrels. Guess what? Those things are going to change how much you have to charge in order to make a living. So, what about post-production? Whole other conversation. And this is very simple, but again, right now I'm shooting some really simple things that for the true whiskey nerds in our group are going to be a little bit like, yeah, of course. But I keep getting asked these questions in the YouTube comments and in Facebook groups on like really basic questions. So I'm like, you know what? Let's go back and talk about the fundamental things. And we're also going to drink some whiskey. So this is a gift from Bill and Julie Seeger. And it is a Whistle Pig wheat whiskey. And they gave all the data on the back, and I left my glasses downstairs. But it is 85 and 15, I guess 85% wheat. Oh, and 15% straight rye. So a blend of wheat whiskey and rye whiskey. Wait, what? How do you blend that and end up with a wheat whiskey? Is that real? Huh. Well, the wheat whiskey is a proprietary toast WB6, and the evidently straight rye whiskey is a number 1 char. They're both New American oak. Oh, and they did this brand partnership with Solo Stove, you know, the smokeless camp stove. It's all over your Instagram and your Facebook ads. And Whistle Pig did a partnership with them where they used a Solo Stove to toast staves and then use those as a part of the production. So if you blend wheat whiskey with 15% rye whiskey, I, for the life of me, do not understand how you can call that wheat whiskey. It breaks all the rules of wheat whiskey. Somebody at TTB explained to me why that label is okay, because I don't get it. Now, am I interested in trying it? Oh, of course. They don't say where they're getting it from either. It's a mix of their own stuff and some sourced stuff, but we don't have any idea where from. So, cherry crumble pastry with kind of a syrupy vanilla. A little bit of like toasted edge to the cherry crumble. There's a slight like dryness to the nose that makes it feel a little bit kind of thin, but not like brittle. Just like the woods or grass on a hot day. It's simple. It's a very basic, simple cherry, little oak, slightly dry, tiny amount of baked spice, but not much. It is 43%, which makes sense because it tastes like it's 43%. There's not a lot of body. It's a nice flavor going down. There's just not a lot of it. Summer sipping, on the rocks sipping, it's going to be very unoffensive, very easy drinking. I think they're charging like $80 for this. I don't know that I would pay $80 for it. And now that I've taken a sip coming back to it, the rye is a little bit more prickly and dry, a little bit more licorice. And the wheat whiskey's kind of... Okay. Yeah, simple. It's simple. It's, if not for the fancy bottle and the brand partnership, and that's more like a $40, $30 bottle of whiskey in my brain. A nice one, though. Okay, what else goes into cost? Brand and reputation. We should all know this based on buying clothing or cars or literally anything else. If your brand has a certain level of prestige, you can charge more. If no one knows who the hell you are, it's going to be harder to charge a higher price. If you've got legacy and awards and demand, hey, guess what? Bing! If you've got no demand, hey, guess what? Uh-oh. The strength of the bottling, it can often... Let's put it this way. A 40 proof whiskey isn't always going to be cheap, but if you're going to find a cheap whiskey, it's probably going to be, or 40%. If you're going to find a cheap whiskey, it's probably going to be 40%. Does that make sense, that balance? Expensive whiskeys might be more cask strength or a higher proof or an extra finishing or a blend. And then just in general, rarity, there's only 800 bottles of this, or the collectability. Oh, this is one of Blanton's toppers. I need 7 to make, or 8 to make the whole set, or whatever the number is. Or this is one of a series of the Game of Thrones releases from Johnny Walker, or just whatever it is. Collectible makes it more expensive other than just a non-issue. And then this is where we get to the, part of the conversation. Taxes and tariffs. And I am just not going to say any more words about that. Tariffs. Boy. All right. Cheers to you. I hope that gives you a little bit of an understanding of what goes into the price of a bottle on a shelf. And I'm really glad you're here. There is no tariff on liking and subscribing to this channel. Tariff-free.